For this particular morning meditation, I want to go to the Gospel of St. John, reading St. John 11, verses 17 through 25 from the New International Version. It reads as follows: On his arrival, Jesus found that Lazarus had already been in the tomb for 4 days. Now Bethany was less than 2 miles from Jerusalem, and many Jews had come to Martha and Mary to comfort them in the loss of their brother. When Martha heard that Jesus was coming, she went out to meet him, but Mary stayed at home. Lord, Martha said to Jesus, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. But I know that even now God will give you whatever you ask. Jesus said to her, your brother will rise again. Martha answered, I know he will rise again in the resurrection at the last day. Jesus said to her, I am the resurrection and the life. The one who believes in me will live even though they die, and whoever lives by believing in me will never die. Do you believe this? I want to hang my hat on St. John 11 and 21, and this is the word for today's particular meditation. Lord, Martha said to Jesus, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. But I know that even now, God will give you whatever you ask. And for today's particular meditation, I want to talk to you today about even now faith. In this particular text, Jesus was arriving at the scene of was coming to Lazarus's help. He had been summoned much earlier, and he didn't come at once. And so Lazarus' sisters were saying that if he had been here, my brother would not have died. The significance in this particular text is that Lazarus had now been dead 4 days. Lazarus was actually not the first person that Jesus had raised from the dead. He had raised Jairus' daughter and the son of the widow at Nain. However, they were not dead for an extended period of time. It was a teaching in many circles in this particular day that the human soul at the time of death would still hover around the body for about 3 days trying to re-enter it. And it was at the 4th day that was given up. After you'd been dead 4 days, your goose was cooked, all bets were off, you're gone. The fat lady had sung. And that's what it said in this particular text. On his arrival, Jesus had already found that Jesus had already been in the tomb for 4 days. The programs were printed, the obits had already ran in the paper. Hey, it's over. And this particular text, the words of Martha, that even though she was saying that if she, telling Jesus if he had arrived earlier, that things would have been different. But she said, I know that even now, and that's the word for you on this particular day, that no matter how it seems like the Lord has arrived too late on the scene for some particular task in your life or some particular dilemma in your life, we have to have the faith like Martha that even now, God can show up as a healer in your body despite what the doctors are saying. Even now, as you look at that mess that you call your finances, and we know that God can be a provider, he can be a deliverer, he can be a financial restorer. Even now, with all the dilemmas that you've had in your marriage or your relationship, God can restore and put new wine and bring back that which you thought was lost and rekindle the fire and the flame that you had thought had long been snuffed out. Even now, are you afraid to believe big for God while you're standing on enemy territory? Every now and then, God will cause your faith to be tested, where things look so dire and gloomy and it seems like all bets are off. Are you big enough to believe God on enemy turf? Even now, I'm talking about how no matter how late on the clock it seems, no matter how it seems like the fat lady has tuned up and then she's found 3 or 4 of her other fat friends to sing, even now. And this is a prophetic word to you, my brother, a prophetic word to you, my sister, that that thing that you thought was long gone, that it was just hopeless, that God can still restore. God can still heal. He can still deliver. He can still set free even now. You can't, they counted you out of the game far too soon. The die was cast. They thought that this was over, all over for you. But even now, God can still show up greatly for you. And that's what the thing that we got to have, my brother and sister. Never relinquish, no matter how, when you give God the riot act about him not coming when you wanted to come, and you heard that he'll show up right on time, and it seemed that it's right on time. It wasn't right on time when he showed up. That we serve a God that even now can give you the life of your dreams. That even now that he can restore, deliver you out of the hands of the enemy right now. Even now, God's going to do for that thing for you. Never lose your even now faith. Even now, God can do it for you. Even now, on this Monday morning, God can make it happen. Even now, although everybody counted you out, God can still show up greatly for you. God bless you. This is, and may God prosper you. This is my prayer. Amen.